Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey Gee.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey Gee.
Happy Style Day, everybody. Happy Style Day. I don't know what it is. I hope that every Swiftie has a song that they just love. And that is Style for me. Something about this song when I hear it, something emotionally, chemically, physically happens to me when I hear this song. Sure, there's other Taylor Swift songs that have more deeper lyrics or something like that. But Style for me is just at the very top of the pyramid. I love Style so much.
Was it an instant favorite for you, or did it take a little bit of time for you to acknowledge that it was your favorite?
I think in my drive in today, I was thinking, why do I love this song so much? So my Swiftie history is I kind of came into enjoying Taylor Swift during Red, the Red album. I like some songs. That was great. 1989 came out, changed the world, and that album just connected. I just loved it so much. I love pop music. And I just loved it. And for some reason, this song just immediately stuck out to me. I'm thinking this was probably my first favorite Taylor Swift song. Your favorite is going to change over time and stuff like that. But I think this was just my first favorite. So that's why I just have so much nostalgia over it and just so many deep feelings over it. It's like when you go back and watch an old cartoon from when you were a kid or something. Something about it, you just love it. You gravitate towards it. It makes you, it's like my comfort movie. This is my comfort song, is Style. So I love this. I love it. I'm so happy that we're doing this today. So this is the third track on 1989 Taylor's version. It was written by Taylor Swift. Max Martin, Shellback, and a new writer, Ali Payami, who I've never really heard of. I guess I've never really dove deep into who wrote all of Taylor Swift's songs, but it's someone named Ali. So way to go, Ali. Something that I do really like about Swifties is we're very clever, we're very funny, we come up with fun things to chant during concerts and stuff, and Style has one of my favorite chants. It almost goes with the 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. It happens right before the song, and you have to time it right. It's kind of hard to get it perfectly, but right before the lyrics start, you have to yell, "What time is it?" And then Taylor sings, "Midnight," the very first line.
Did you do that at the Eras Tour?
I couldn't time it right. And we had really good seats the second night that we saw Taylor in Arlington on the Eras Tour, and she sings Style right in front of us, and it was just
It's for you.
the best. It was for me.
That was for you.
Just for me. Oh,
It's
incredible.
like you were the only person in that stadium.
For 2.5 minutes I was. It was just me and Taylor.
Gosh, I remember whenever we got walked to our seats, to those really nice seats on the floor, night 3 in Arlington. And before then, I was like, are we going to get the Taylor Swift hat? Is it going to happen? Are we collectively going to get the Taylor Swift hat?
The 22 hat?
Yes. And then whenever we were walked to our seats and we're smack dab in the middle, excuse me, having to go past everybody, I was like, oh, we're not going to get the hat because that is going to bog everything down. Like that annoyingly long walk up to the stage. Not that they would stop for us, but I mean, I couldn't see it happening. And I'm glad I let myself down that way because it didn't happen. Now I'm glad who it went to. I don't remember if that was Jalen's night that he got it or not. But
I don't remember if it was Jalen or not.
Yeah. But next time.
Yeah.
Ooh, manifesting. Anna gets it in Dublin.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Could you imagine? Oh my God.
How would they get your body home after you died?
Okay,
how would that happen?
I think Taylor knows not to give it to me because I would actually just disappear into thin air. in that I would evaporate just right then and there.
You'd be
There's
like
no
a
way.
crumpled up piece of paper.
Yeah, there's no way.
What if she gives it to your husband Ryan as an anniversary gift?
Give it to him. There's
You
a
know
tall
what?
guy. Give it to him. He's moving his head a little
You
bit.
know what? For the amount of love and support that he gives me as a Swiftie and the amount of Taylor Swift knowledge that he knows against his will, he should get that hat over me. Just as a Taylor should give it to him as a thank you for putting up with Anna. So the hidden message in this song was her heart belonged to someone who couldn't stay. That sounds like a Taylor Swift lyric. She could make a whole song just written out of the hidden messages.
Yeah.
Her heart belongs to someone who couldn't stay.
And back whenever Taylor Swift was doing the original promo for this album, she did a morning show takeover on the Ryan Seacrest show. And this was it was posted on Halloween 2014, but no one was wearing costumes in the video. So I'm wondering if that was just whenever it was posted or if that was actually the day. Because I don't know. I feel like she'd be like a cute cat or something. I don't know. Anyway, she did talk about her feelings for this song. She shares a lot of the same feelings as our boy Nick Adams and gave us this iconic quote.
Shake It Off and Style were the last two songs to be written for 1989. And this one has always been my secret favorite. I hope it ends up being a single. Like, I hope people love it because there's just something about it. I love how the song sounds the way that feeling felt. I love it when a sound of a song matches up with the feeling that inspired it.
Yeah.
So, in this song, it just reminds me of like driving in the middle of the night. I don't know. I loved comparing kind of these timeless visuals with, a feeling that never goes out of style.
And why did you name it Style?
Because the hook is "We never go out of style."
But before the
so,
hook.
and I thought "We never go out of style" was a long title.
Got it. Got it. But before the hook, you didn't know what the title was going to be, right?
Well, when you're writing a song, you just kind of are like, you let the song happen and turn into what it's going to turn into, and that just ended up being the title. And it's pretty slick.
It is.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's slicked back in a white tee, isn't it? That's what it is. This
Yeah.
I love her sense of humor.
It's so
I love
good.
that she's not falling for it. She's not giving Seacrest what he wants out of this.
I love that so much because the hook is "We are never going out of style," and it's so funny because we are never getting back together. I love her so much.
So, full disclosure, before we were recording, Lacey texted our group and she says,
I know.
quote, "I've got the interview with Ryan Seacrest." I wasn't thinking, I was doing something else, and I thought Lacey got an interview with Ryan Seacrest, like to go work there. And I said, "Oh my gosh, really? To work there?" And she said, "The one where she talks about style." And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I am looking for a job, Ryan Seacrest. So if
I
you're
was like,
hiring.
"Dang, Lacey!"
That's so funny.
Yeah, I speak in incomplete thoughts all the time. I just, my mind's a million miles an hour, and I was in the middle of doing this, and I just want to let y'all know so no one else would pull the clips that I had it. But instead of saying that, I just speak in, half. But yeah, there's the Ryan Seacrest interview.
It is iconic. It is very iconic. Goes down in Swiftie history.
Absolutely.
Because the hook is "We are never going out of style," and I thought that was too long for a title. So good.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Midnight.
You come and pick me up, no headlights.
Nope.
So it sounded like this relationship is very secretive right off the bat. This is a secret. We're not telling anybody about this.
But they're walking around in the park. I mean, do we say it?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we think it's about Harry Styles.
No, one could make
John Mayer.
one could make an
Just
assumption,
kidding.
but it's not confirmed.
So it's not a secret. Maybe it's just a secret that they're hanging out, or the on and off that we're going to talk about later. Maybe this is back on, or thinking about coming back on, or
Well, and I think also their relationship was so public and it was so highly scrutinized by paparazzi and flashing lights and things like, as we hear in the vault tracks and things like that. So you come and pick me up, no headlights. It is like those secret moments, right? Like not necessarily like they're dating in secret and nobody knows, but it's like they kind of have to move around in secret to avoid the paparazzi and the public eye, right?
Well, and I guess maybe to avoid everyone, they just go on a long drive. It could end in burning flames or paradise. So yeah, this isn't the healthiest relationship. She doesn't know where this is going.
Yeah, it's
She's
uncertain.
confused about which direction are we actually going here.
In one direction?
Mm.
I loved that laugh.
Amy's maniacal laugh.
So mad I didn't say it.
We got Mrs. Burns over here. Fade into view. Oh, it's been a while since I've even heard from you.
So that
there's some conflict going on right now.
So that was also a very commonly misheard lyric, because a lot of Swifties thought she said fake interview, not fade interview, fake interview.
Okay, I can see that.
Which would also fit into the, narrative story of her and Harry. They have to do interviews about each other and their songs, because Harry also has songs about Taylor, inspired by Taylor. So if you're doing a fake interview, it would fit. And this came up recently. I think it was right when we got 1989 Taylor's version, because in the song I Wish You Would, I always think it says stand back wasted. And I posted a TikTok video about it, being like, I wonder if in Taylor's version it'll be more clear that it's not stand back wasted, it's stand back where you stood. That's nuts. And a lot of Swifties were like fake interview, fade into view.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it sound more clear in Taylor's version if you originally misheard it the first time?
And so in the next part of the lyric, she's talking about this cycle that she knows is not good. She knows where it's going to end up. She says, I should just tell you to leave because I know exactly where it leaves, but I watch us go round and round each time.
It's giving, I can fix him. No, really, I can.
Without having any context of the song at all. Knowing anything about it.
I'm pretty sure that was an Easter egg to the Tortured Poets department.
Could have been. She does plan years in advance.
So, no, this was a joke. This was 100% a joke.
That's a great connection, though, Anna, because you're absolutely right. It's going through the same motions, knowing that you're going to have the exact same result again, but you're willing to try with this person just in case it actually works this time.
Yeah, even though they both knew that it wasn't, right? Like, they both knew it wasn't going to work, but it's kind of like gravitational towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just to go back into the fade into view, because, I mean, we're about to get into the James Dean reference. Fade into view was also a classic Hollywood trope that was used to describe a dream guy in movies, like kind of like in the 50s. So that would also connect back to James Dean.
Huh.
You know, I just thought of another James Dean connection. So, okay, the next line that she sings when it gets to the chorus is, you got that James Dean daydream look in your eye. So she's comparing whoever she's singing about to James Dean. Who is James Dean? James Dean was an actor, really popular in the 50s. He passed away when he was 24 years old. He passed away in a car accident. James Dean was known for driving fast cars and things like that. So them driving just in a car right now, that is another connection to James Dean, who, the person she's singing about, has that James Dean daydream look in his eyes.
And he does, Harry Styles does kind of have that James Dean-esque look, especially back when Harry Styles had like his long hair, around this era, like he did, and he would wear the white t-shirt and that classic just look. And I remember around that time, because when Harry Styles started to get into acting, it was a popular opinion for people to think that Harry Styles could play James Dean in like a biopic about him. And so then when Taylor says you got that James Dean daydream look in your eye, it's like, yeah. And have y'all watched any James Dean movies, by the way?
No.
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Oh my God.
His biggest one is Rebel Without a Cause.
Rebel Without a
I may have seen
Cause.
some clips, but I haven't watched it all.
I have seen Rebel Without a Cause, and I've seen East of Eden. Those are two of his movies. And then Giant was another one. I haven't seen that one. But watching James Dean on screen, and it is so tragic that he passed away so young, but watching him on screen, oh my God, just absolute heartthrob. Like, he is just, like, it really is like, you got that James, he was such a classic Hollywood 1950s heartthrob. I highly recommend it. It's a great movie. A classic, if you will.
See, he was 24 when he died. How did he die?
It was in a car wreck. He was racing around in the Hollywood Hills and got in a crash. Yeah. Yeah, he raced cars as a hobby and things like that. And he was kind of the bad boy. He kind of had that bad boy image. White T-shirt, leather jacket. Well, everyone smoked then, but slicked back hair. And that was just his vibe. And yeah, he raced cars.
And he was in a movie with Marilyn Monroe. Is that correct? I seem to connect them. Either they were together or they were in a movie together.
Well, I think the red, and I got that red lip classic thing. I think that was a Marilyn Monroe reference. That they're like this Hollywood romance, the two of them.
I don't know the answer to that question.
There are pictures of them together. Said they might have had a fling. I don't know that they actually did a movie. They appeared together in a movie, Elvis Returned to Tupelo.
Dorothea?
I don't know, but I was just thinking that. I guess I'm really not familiar with James Dean at all.
I think you're forgiven for not knowing a 1950s movie star. And you got that James Dean daydream look in your eye, and I got that red lip classic thing that you like.
And Taylor's signature red lip.
She always does. That never smudges. Have you ever
I
seen
did
it on
look
her
it
teeth?
up, by the way.
What?
I have been dying to know what lipstick she was wearing at the Chiefs game. Well, she has her classic red lip, right? But at the Chiefs game, the one where she was down on the field the first time, I think it was the AFC Championship, and she's kissing on Travis, and there's no smears. It's not on her teeth. I was like, I must know what lipstick she was wearing. Pat McGrath posted a picture of Taylor. Pat McGrath famously does Taylor's makeup for a lot of events. And so Pat posted a picture of Taylor with a link to a lipstick. I bought it just so I can test it out myself. It has not arrived yet, but if anyone is curious, it was the Pat McGrath matte trans lipstick in the shade Forbidden Love.
Did you get Forbidden Love?
Yes, I ordered it in that exact same shade that was posted with that picture of Taylor. So I will report back.
Pat McGrath is also in the Bejeweled music video. She also has a Bejeweled makeup line. So her and Taylor are besties.
And she has a whole line of lipsticks called Taylor Made.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go crashing down, we come back every time because we never go out of style. We never go out of style. So again, she's just singing that they're attracted to each other. They both have that something that they can't get away from the other person. You know, you're always thinking about that other person.
Mm-hmm.
And they go crashing down. They come back every time. They never go out of style. They may be on, they may be off. They may be on, they may be off. But it's always just a circular thing.
And I did find this quote from Taylor from 2014 talking about the song to Global News. She said, "This song is about those relationships that are never really done. You always kind of have that person that you feel like might interrupt your wedding and be like, don't do it because we're not over yet." Is it over now? I think everybody has that one person who kind of floats in and out of their life, and the narrative is never truly over.
And she also said that this song is about observing fashion trends and cultural trends and seeing how certain things are always constant.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she said she started thinking about that in terms of feelings. There are certain feelings like that. There are certain people that float in and out of your life like a trend that keeps coming back in style and never fully fades away.
And she has a lot of fashion references throughout the song.
Well, she has another one coming up here. You got that long hair, slick back, white T-shirt, James Dean reference, and I got that good girl faith in a tight little skirt. That's one of my favorite lines. I think it's very playful, it's very sexy, it's very cute.
It's perfect because it's Taylor. Like, she has this good girl faith, like a clean reputation.
Mm-hmm.
But the tight little skirt is like flirty and sexy.
Yeah, it is. And she's being playful with it in this song. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time because we never go out of style. We never go out of style. It's this cycle. They can't get away from each other. So it goes. That's the next line. So it goes. He can't keep his wild eyes on the road.
He's
how
dangerous.
Often? Yeah, and how often is she talking about how bad of a driver he is?
I know, right?
Like, this is coming up often. He's turning off his headlights. He can't keep his wild eyes on the road. He's crashing. That's it.
Well, he's dangerous. He's adventurous. He's focused on her. And there's something that she kind of finds a little, like, kind of attractive, right? That, like, she's attracted to that bad boy. Like, I can make the bad boys good for a weekend, you know?
He takes me home. The lights are off. He's taking off his coat.
He's staying for a while.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
Also, if this is about Harry Styles, One Direction's 2012 album is rightfully titled Take Me Home.
Wow. That's a pretty large connection, I would think. The lights are off. He's taking off his coat. I say, I heard, that you've been out and about with some other girl. And so again, here they are. They're kind of just like at the beginning of the song. They go on a long drive, but then she says, it's been a while since I heard from you. It's kind of like, oh, let's start digging with this guy and see what he's been up to. And now, here we go again. Hey, he's coming inside. He's taking off his coat. He's getting comfortable. I heard you've been out and about with some other girl. It's like, man, just when I thought things were getting better, she's questioning me again.
But this is funny because he's making himself at home. He's like, oh, yeah, we're back. We're about to have a good time. And Taylor's like, hold up. So I heard.
Uh-huh. But then he says, well, what you heard is true, but I can't stop thinking about you and I.
Said I've been there too a few times.
That is just, I mean, is it over now? It just fills in the blanks, right?
Yeah.
So in reference to this song, Taylor did talk about it in the Ryan Seacrest interview and mentioned how this song was a different kind of first for her.
I want to go into the lyrics for a second of Style, and so we just heard it. I'm going to fast forward towards the back of the song. It says, you've been out and about with some other girl. He says, what you heard is true. This is him talking, right? But I can't stop thinking about you. And then I was curious before I heard the next lyric to know what your reaction was to that statement. And then you say, I said, I've been there too a few times. So you relate to him?
Well, it's basically kind of one of those relationships that's always a bit off. It's the song is about like kind of I talk about in another song on the record, a crooked love, which is kind of like never quite synced up right, you know, and the two people are trying to forget each other and they've both been out with other people and they've both tried to forget the other. And so it's like, all right, you know, I heard you like went off with her and you know, you came back and well, I've done that too. So
I
that
can't
song
totally
is,
follow.
that's what that line means.
How did you hear about it?
Hear about what?
How did you hear about him being, I'm not even saying who he is, but how did you hear about the he being with someone else? Is that something that you're told, that you read? Is it something that you feel? Is it something that they tell you? Because that's a tough moment in a relationship.
Yeah, but you know, I don't feel like I should go into this because I think then we'll be talking about an individual person and people will write headlines about it and it'd be a whole thing. But I think, you know, this song is about my life and I've never revealed who it's actually about. But the song kind of speaks for itself and kind of like the way this song sounds and feels, that's all I need people to know about that story.
And I find it so interesting because at that moment in that lyric specifically, I'm wondering like, how do you react to that? Because we've all sort of been in that situation. I mean, I know we've all been in that situation before. And then I found it clever that you said, look, I can't really crush you for it because I've been there a few times myself. That was interesting. It was an interesting turn for me.
I find it interesting that you picked up on that line because that line is also sort of I would never have said anything like that on a previous album.
Right.
Like my previous albums have always been sort of like, I was right, you were wrong, you did this, it made me feel like this, kind of a sense of kind of like a sense of righteous, like right and wrong in a relationship. And what happens when you grow up is you realize that the rules in a relationship are very, very blurred and that it gets very complicated very quickly. And there's not always a case of who was right and who was wrong.
So what they're both referencing there was that you've been out and about with some other girl. And he admits what you heard is true, but I can't stop thinking about you. And she says, oh, yeah, I've been there a few times. So that was referencing those lyrics, which also echo a lot of the same sentiments in her vault track, Is It Over Now? But it's cool that she's taking acknowledgement and being mature in this song. She's wanting to show a more mature side of herself without going to the extreme. But she's also saying, not everything is just everybody else's fault. I've got some stuff to work on as well, and making some sort of sexy references too.
Sure.
Whenever she's talking about the tight skirt and you know he's taking off his clothes, so it's just a different side of Taylor. This was the first time that we had seen the more mature side of her.
Yeah, well, and it's also like Nick, you've said it before when we talk about other songs, but you know a lot of people have this just idea that, oh, Taylor writes breakup songs about guys and that's it. But she does also admit to times in relationships where she's been in the wrong.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
me,
She's
hello.
comfortable calling herself out.
Yeah, I mean,
and here we see her, the early signs of her doing that.
Yeah,
she's saying, I'm at fault too.
Yeah, I've been there too a few times. Yeah, and then in the later albums, we hear it more and more, and we do love when she can do that. Be like, yeah, I was wrong. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she admits to being a cheater herself in certain situations.
Yeah.
That stuff has happened, and I'm going to acknowledge it.
And then she goes back into the chorus. You got that James Dean daydream look in your eye, and I got that red lip classic thing that you like. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time because we never go out of style. We never go out of style. You've got that long hair, slicked back, white T-shirt. And I got that good girl Faith in a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time because we never go out of style. We never go out of style.
Take me home.
Oh, she just belts it. I love it. Take me home. Just take me home. Yeah, just take me home. So she's saying there's some issues here that we have to figure out, but just take me home. We're going to keep this cycle going again. And that's almost her admitting, like, I'm part of this problem too.
Yeah.
Let's just start this cycle back over again, okay?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So before the Eras tour, Harry Styles was on his tour that lasted a very long time, and there was a lot of fan edit videos of him doing like this one dance move, and Swifties would put it to the song Style. And then on the Eras tour, I don't know if Taylor did it intentionally or maybe because we all saw him do the certain dances, but then she started doing the same dance move when she would sing Style, and then people put them side by side of Harry and Taylor doing the same dance move to Style, and I just love it so much. Because the first time she did it, Swifties were like, did she do that on purpose, or was it just like muscle memory? Because you've seen it so many times, and I just love that. We never go out of style. This is a classic. This is a Taylor Swift classic.
Yeah, I never get bored hearing this song.
It never goes out of style.
Do we know who the other girl is? You been out and about with some other girl?
Well, rumor has it that at one point, Harry was spotted out kissing a model named Emma O'Stilly. And paparazzi got pictures of them, and Taylor got caught wind of it. I don't know. I know that there was a couple of other women that he was linked up to with, and I'm not 100% familiar with Harry's timeline, so I could be misspeaking. If I am, apologize. But didn't we kind of look into it when we did Is It Over Now?
Yeah, I know. At some point there was Kendall Jenner, Kimberly Stewart was another one. I don't know if those were women he was just photographed with or if it was someone he was actually dating. That's unclear.
Yeah, I'm not
but
sure.
A lot of people want to link up anyway. You have two people out and about together, automatically they're dating, they're romantically together in some sort of way. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they were, but that's how the media might have just been portraying them at the time.
Yeah.
And then in the last little bit of the song, she goes back into the chorus and she sings that another time, and style is over.
But I do like that Is It Over Now is a more mature version of Style.
It just gives a little bit more detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it still has the same sentiments. I saw you. You were out there with the flashing lights. Is it over now? Was it over whenever this happened? Or is it over now? And it's just their unhealthy cycle of forgiving and getting back together and repeating and repeating and repeating until it was finally over.
And it is funny to think about how we so badly wanted Harry Styles on Taylor's version of like Style, Taylor's version featuring Harry Styles. We wanted it so bad. And then when we got the vault, we were like, that's never going to happen.
But, we did see them at the Grammys, of course.
I think they're cordial.
And they're cordial. They were having a pleasant conversation. And so it looks like they're on decent terms, right?
I think they're cordial. And even back then, Harry had written songs about Taylor too, or that were inspired by Taylor. And something that I will always respect about him, especially when it comes to Taylor songwriting, he had said, like, because he would be asked in interviews, like, oh, well, how do you feel about Taylor Swift writing songs about you? And he had said, like, yeah, because, she's a songwriter and she writes, things that she experiences. I do the same thing. You go through something, she's going to write music about it. I'm going to write music about it. And I've always really respected him for that, because a lot of her exes didn't feel that way.
Mm-hmm. And they were young. So, I mean,
so
it's
young.
one, yeah. it's one thing to feel away whenever you're young because you're just not all the way mature yet and you don't have all the life experiences. So I think that they do both respect each other. It was just something they went through, an unhealthy cycle whenever they were both super young, super famous, in the spotlight all the time. It was a different time than it is now.
Yeah.
But they seem to be friends. I don't imagine Harry being upset, especially with the vault tracks that came out, which majority of them we assume is about him. But they're just so well written, and she's also taken the blame. So it's not like, oh, Harry Styles is a bad dude. It's we were both misbehaving in a way.
Yeah, one of my favorite One Direction lyrics that connects Harry to Taylor is from Perfect. So at the beginning of Style, what are they doing at midnight? They're driving. And then in Perfect, Harry sings, and if you like midnight driving with the windows down. I feel like those might be some references to each other. I don't know.
Well, even in the music video, there's the paper airplane necklace that is in there that they had given each other, I assume. I mean, it's a good assumption, right?
Yeah.
Well, they both wore these necklaces during their relationship, which I didn't realize that there was a music video for it
It's
until
For Style?
artsy.
It's artsy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really pretty.
Mhm.
It's so pretty.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not like her typical music videos where you have like this whole story and drama and stuff, but it's such a pretty video.
And then once I saw it today, doing our research, and I did see it, then I realized I have seen it before. It's just not a typical music video that sticks out because it's not the blank space.
Mm-hmm.
Does everyone feel so much better now that we've taken a deep dive into Style? Do you guys feel like, wow, this is just top tier Taylor Swift song? Just say yes and
Yes.
appease me.
Of course.
Wow.
Yes.
It
It's
is,
great.
it is a top tier Taylor Swift
Okay,
song.
good.
I'm not just
Love it.
saying that. It really is.
Well, good. Well, if you like it, send us an email. Tell me how much you like this song, or do it in the YouTube comments. We would love that. And that reminds us, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the ways to contact us, our social media, our YouTube, our email is all in the description of this podcast. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to us and leave us a good review and a 5-star rating. And we'll see you next time when we break down Out of the Woods. Who's that about?
Whoa, back to back.
Who's that about?
I do want to read a review that someone recently left. I know that we've gotten a lot of love from football people who are now coming over. Well, this person's name is Spurs Rockets Golden State. So I think we might have transcended into basketball as well. I think we're making the
Woohoo!
sports rounds,
That'd be
y'all.
great.
That's a basketball team, right?
Yeah,
Spurs.
that's several.
Yeah.
Spurs,
That's all
Rockets.
of them. That's like a division of them.
Spurs, Rockets. Who'd you say? Golden State.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all basketball teams.
Yeah. Look at me, sports knowledge. But someone left a review saying, I'm fangirling over the fangals and guy. I'm a Midnight Swiftie, and it's been so fun to go back and listen to Taylor Swift's discography and hear the deeper meanings and cultural context and theories that Amy, Anna, Lacey, and Nick share. It's the first podcast I've ever binged from the beginning. It's hilarious to hear the 2021 clowning, knowing what we know now. Thanks for such an amazing podcast.
Aww,
that's
that's
so
so
nice.
fun.
Yeah, so I thought that was really sweet. So thank you for that review, and make sure and go leave us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Thanks for listening. The Third Team, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.